Should you get and build Ines? Short answer, yes. Long answer, this entire video.
Rhodes Island. This landship sure has gotten a lot brighter. My eyes tell me that this ship, that doctor, Her Majesty, and you have all changed.
どんな状況でも勝てるのは昔と変わらないわね。ただあの頃と違って、その喜びように偽りはなさそうだけど。
Ines, a merc with 19 years of combat experience, who once worked for Babel, Rhodes Island's predecessor, during the Casdal Civil War alongside Operator W and Hoederer. Unlike her merc companion, she's not a Sarkaz. She's believed to be a Caproni who has been making her haunt to look like a Sarkaz. Her merc teams have been present in many conflicts. She was also present during the Chernobog incident, working alongside Reunion for a while, where she is believed to be dead, until the recent event in Londinium where she reached out to Rhodes Island. Now under the sweet leader Ascalon's supervision, she's allowed to be on board and work for Rhodes Island as an operator, utilizing her combat experience and unique arts to see someone's shadow for a recon mission. She attack. Well, she mostly just attack. And she is thick as heck. One of the most anticipated characters in Arknights is finally here, and becoming the first ever 6-star Agent Vanguard to ever grace Terra. So how useful Ines can be for you? Well fam, let's see her kit first. Ines made it into the Agent archetype, one of the best Vanguard archetypes in the game. They are versatile, a solid stationary unit to fight enemy head on, or from the back of another operator. Have fast redeploy utility, eliminating some enemies with their heli drop skills. Inflict good enough damage, and ultimately a good option to gain DP. And being the 6-star, Ines goes double the usefulness, and gives it all to me. As for this archetype's downside, they hardly have one. But if I may mention, deploying her multiple times will increase her cost. And the DP she gets will be smaller, as you need to cover her bigger cost. Not something to be concerned about like an executor specialist though. After all, she's not just deployed to exterminate, but also printing DP. And because she can only gain DP when attacking a target with her skills, the DP generation can become inconsistent. But for that one, it sounds like you just don't bring or have Stainless, the greatest engineer that Terra ever witnessed.
I start imagining I fight even better than the mercs.
Now for her stats. The attack and offensive stats are good enough for a Vanguard. And attack can become even better with her skills that we will talk about soon. Her initial cost is cheap, but if you redeploy her multiple times, she will end up with 22 cost. Attack interval is quick, and remember it's quite important for Ines, as how many DP she gets depends on how many attacks she can score during skill. So you might not want to skip an attack speed buff. Though not really necessary, as her attack speed is already fast, especially with skill 2. For talent, Talent 1 offers a crowd control utility. It makes her attacks bind each enemy for the first time. Especially useful when fighting someone too dangerous to be blocked. And while the bind only applies the first time she hits the enemy, but it will reset once she is redeployed. Very useful when you mainly use her as a fast redeploy. And in this talent she got the new debuff effect called Steel, which makes her attack stronger and the enemy weaker. Talent 2 is a mix of Silver Ash and Mostima talent, revealing invisible targets and reducing their movement. And the best thing is that this effect will not go away even after Ines has retreated. This allows her to still offer usefulness while waiting for redeployment, or when you don't need her anymore. And if using skill 1 or 2, this talent can cover 2 different places. In a way, this talent also makes Ines can attack invisible targets. If that's not useful, I don't know what is. And this is her potential upgrade. Vanguard and Fast Redeploy are 2 units I recommend to get their potential upgrade. Ines is a mix of the two, so naturally it's a good idea to get her duplicate. The first two upgrades sound good enough. But if you are low on resources, well, like most ARPs, she's okay too without duplicate. And currently, Agent doesn't have module. But share what you think is a perfect module effect for them in the comment. Now for skills. Skill 1 is pretty good for early, providing arts DOT for 3 seconds, and 2 DP for around 4 seconds. But overall I recommend you use her other skills once you unlock them. Unless you're the type to do AFK gaming, or when DOT becomes useful. Then it's a skill 2. This is generally her best skill to use. This is perfect if you want her to become both a stationary and fast redeploy unit. This will give her invisibility. That won't make her take splash damage unlike the common beta camouflage. And with this skill initial SP, there's a potential for heli drop. Further improved if you got bagpipe, as you can use this skill almost, or even immediately upon deployment. This skill has a wide range to reach enemies she can't normally reach. Big attack boost to deal considerable damage to a bulky unit. Steal enemy attack speed to increase her DPS, and DP printing speed. The DP printing is mighty good, almost comparable to the flag bearer, and not to mention if she got any extra attack speed boost. The target also becomes considerably weaker, thanks to Ines decreasing their attack speed and attack by using talent 1. On top of that, this skill has a good cycle. Overall, it's an amazing skill. Last but not least, her skill 3. Skill 3 is a passive skill and is used if you want Ines to become a pure fast redeploy unit. This skill make Ines gives the most out of her damage, and good for handling multiple enemies. She will first put her dagger on the first deployment, then on the next deployment, and afterward, she will call in her dagger, hitting up to 6 enemies along the way. Worth noting that the flying dagger will obtain DP and apply Ines talent. Overall an unexpectedly strong crowd control potential. But one downside that I always mentioned when talking about this skill. This skill will essentially prevent Ines from becoming a stationary unit, losing some of her versatility. But depending on the situation, pure fast redeploy might be what you want. Especially in IS mode if you have some useful relic. For skill mastery priority, skill 2 is her best skill for a lot of situations, so I suggest you start with that. Besides, the mastery gain is quite generous. You have more attack speed steal, and cost reduction. The secondary choice would be skill 3. That increased her damage, and hit count and duration by 1 second at M3. For base skills, she can increase contact speed at the HR office, or increase clue search speed in the reception room. So, should Ines be on your team? Ines fulfilled the requirements to become a great vanguard. She's effective to be used in the stage early phase. Got good DP generation to swiftly deploy other ARPs to the field. And to top it off, she provides unique and useful utility to be used even for the stage late phase. For what she can do alone, Ines is one of the best vanguard we currently have. Moreover, she already got the most of her useful kit from Elite 1. That's going to be useful for a lot of people, especially newbie, not to mention she's easy to use. Even if you already got the bagpipe and flag bearer combo, Ines is still worth to consider. Probably the only thing stopping you from pulling her, at least if you do watch this during her debut banner, is that she's close to limited banner. Which by the way also has a great and unique 6-star vanguard. But keep in mind her debut is the best place you can get her. Otherwise, you'll have to gamble in future standard banner. Or the front that was, when episode 13 dropped. That should be all. Hey, what are you doing? I thought we are still in the farm arc. If that's what you want, friend, peace is no longer an option. Adios.